Hi, happy Canada Day. My name is Stem Mekach Kanam, Little Black Bear Warrior. I am the elder at the Watch House up on Burnaby Mountain, where we're fighting against the Canadian government and the oil industry bringing dirty oil onto our mountain, our land, and our Salish Sea. Um, this is unceded territory. It's been acknowledged as unceded territory. Every day you wake up and people are saying how great it is to be welcomed on the land of the host nations on this unceded territory. Yet when we go to court, we're told that doesn't count. Um, so we're having that battle, but I just wanted to talk a bit today about truth and reconciliation, specifically about reconciliation. Um, 9 years ago, we had the big walk across the bridge, and we had the Coliseum at the PNE thrown open for us to come in and look at what residential schools looked like. And I sat with some elders that day, and I said, "You must be happy they're finally willing to do something about reconciliation, about making things better for Indigenous people." And let's move this over a bit so you can get this. I can put some mine. So I said, "You must be happy they're going to do something about reconciliation." The elders looked me in the face with kind of a sad look in their eyes, and they said, "Well, we've seen this before, Canaan. We've seen the promises made, the empty promises made, and the photo moments taken by the politicians and all of their allies. And at the end of the day, we're still here. And we're still wondering how come our women are dying. And how come our standards of health on reserves are substandard." So now, 9 years later, after that conversation with these elders, I'm tempted to take a look and say, well, so what's changed here? You know? We have allies that we didn't have before. That Truth and Reconciliation Week brought out the allies and got people who understood that what's happening, what the colonialists are doing around us is not right. And they've stood beside us, and they've been willing to stand beside us as we stop the pipeline. They've been willing to be arrested and jailed alongside of us, and that's good. These allies are needed. These are the warriors of the rainbow that were promised in some of our legends. And these are warriors. One of our chiefs once said that our warriors are not warriors because they can take a life. They're warriors because they're willing to stand there and defend and protect the old, the young, and the families. So we sit here 9 years later, and you'll all remember within the last couple of weeks, there have been two different people, one young woman and one older woman, who had been missing, whose bodies were discovered. Our missing and murdered women are still an issue. Nothing's been done. When they found the body out in the rich section of Vancouver, the police said, "Oh, it's not suspicious. It's always not suspicious." When does it become suspicious that our Aboriginal women are being raped, murdered, and neglected? I'm going to ask one of my favorite activists to speak on that in the future. This is not meant to be a big whining session. It's not going to be another one of those there they go again. What we're going to do is list today the different things that are still wrong that Truth and Reconciliation has not managed to address, the systemic racism and that, and we'll go to other talks on our website where we will discuss those different things in detail and look at how it could be changed today to walk in a different way. So it's not just whining about the fact that our water is still isn't clean for the reserves, that the housing is substandard. It's not whining about those things, just acknowledging them. And then what can we do from here? We need to be a part of the solution. And if all we do is complain, we're just a part of the problem. They listen to us for a minute and then go back to ignoring us. So one of the things we face with the tank farm is the fact that there is still a disproportionate number of Indigenous men and women in prison, although they said they would change that. There's still selective arrests. We have the police, the prosecution, and the judiciary working together to make sure that Indigenous people who would stand up are arrested and sent to jail. There are recommendations within the Gladue reports, and there are recommendations within the Truth and Reconciliation Commission that not as many Aboriginal people go to jail, but the percentages are still the same. There are still 50% of the of the people, still 50% of the population in prisons are Aboriginal, whether it's men's prisons or women's prisons. It's still over 50%. Still over 50% of the children in care, in child prisons, if you want to call it that, are Indigenous. Still over 50% of the people who die after getting out of care are Indigenous. The numbers remain the same. 9 years after they said they would change all of this, what has changed? The judiciary is still supremacist. They still view us with racist eyes as we stand up for our rights that Truth and Reconciliation said we should be entitled to. So how do we get around this? We're going to look at that. We ask our allies to stand beside us as we do this work, that we appreciate that they are here. If it was only a handful of Indigenous people standing at the gates of Trans Mountain, the bullies would have been sent in. The militarized police or the armed forces would have come in to take us out, as they did in Oka, as they did in Gustafson Lake, as they're doing right now up north in other territories that are fighting the same battle. I think to end this anyway, that we're taught to walk in a different way. We're taught to walk honoring our seven grandfather teachings. We're taught to walk in peace, in truth, in wisdom, in in love, in humility. We're taught that all of these things all fit together as we walk through our daily lives. That when we pray in the morning, when we smudge in the morning, we pray that we have good thoughts, that we see good things, that we speak good things, that our heart feels only good. And with that, we try to walk through our day. And so I try to do that again today, and I hope everyone has a good Canada Day, but I hope you also are aware that a part of having a good Canada Day is a part of walking with respect, walking with peace, walking with honor. And a part of doing that is, after all that energy and all that effort was put in by all those people to lay out the formula for truth and reconciliation, maybe it's time to demand that the politicians, that the Trudeaus who will go surfing while we were burying our children, that those people are held accountable, that they're forced to stand up and understand that way is no longer any good, that way no longer works. all my relations.